So we just crossed episode 50 in the series, which is perfect because today's episode is absolute chaos. All right, welcome back to another episode. It seems I have accidentally created another micronation. All right, we'll just leave you. Actually, wait, no, there can only be one. This micronation thing is the only one. This is the only accident. This is the only accident that was not an accident. It wasn't a mistake. It was a masterpiece. You are a mistake. You're gone. With that out of the way, today is gonna be absolutely chaotic. Make sure to watch till the end. But first, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button because we are at 946 subscribers, and we're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of 2025. So yeah, please help us, especially if you're enjoying this. Especially if you watched more than one episode and didn't subscribe yet. How dare you? Okay, let's begin. First thing is going to be North Russia. Now, this is pretty much frozen land. No one lives here, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, now people are going to start living here because a lot of settlers from Crimea, France, Red Team, a lot of them are going to start, sailing around, round and round and round. Mostly because they're going to think, you know what, maybe there's even more land up here. So some Red Team things are actually going to go ahead. They're going to actually stop in Norway for a second, just for one little second. They're actually going to found a they're going to create a little settlement right here for any future Antarctic exploration. That also is going to make the Red Team the first country to border the North Ocean Sea stuff. From here, they're going to set out again with their only goal to go north. Now they're going to go around. Then, around here, they're going to actually hit a very brutal storm. They're gonna get they're gonna get pretty lost. Eventually, they're gonna make it out, and they're just gonna and their compass is gonna get broken, and it's gonna say they're still going north, except they're not. And so, after getting here, a giant tsunami waves are going to get them lost again, and they're gonna make an emergency crash landing uh right here. So that was quite the story, but they're going to found another. They're gonna create find found. I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore. They're gonna create a new settlement right here in the name of the red team, And now they're gonna realize that they might be a little bit lost because they have no idea how to get back. They're also finally gonna discover their compass was broken, so now they have no idea if they actually went to the north, if this is new land or if this is just random land that no one's seen before. Because mind you, people don't know any of this exists. They don't actually know what's up here because no one's gone north yet. No one's wanted to go north yet. As far they know there's probably land there, but they don't know what's in this like area. They don't know what's there. They have no way of telling if they're in that area or not. So they actually have no idea where they are. For all they know, they could be in America. They could be in Greenland. They could be in Toronto. So let's continue. So they're gonna set a lot of scouts out. They're gonna send a lot out. They're actually also going to make some talks with the uh uh with the um with the local living here, and they're actually the diplomat is actually going to offer recognition in exchange for support. So in exchange for their support, these guys are going to get a recognition to become a real country. Now they've heard stories about these countries being formed and how brutally they're colonizing everything. So the diplomat's going to basically like, yeah, to avoid that, you should probably become a country. And well, that's exactly what's going to happen. So I think I'll take the red team's color, put it on the sea, and then take white, and that's the color of this new country. I think all the countries up here, I want their color to have a hint of white in it because it's like ice and snow. Pretty cool, pretty cool. No puns intended. All right, so now they're there. Uh, Meanwhile, a certain scout is actually going to make it all the way over here. It's going to be a 3 week long journey. I have actually no idea if that's factual or not. I have no idea if getting from here to here in with by boat takes 3 weeks or not. But it's gonna take him 3 weeks. He's gonna tell the main scouts who still do have contact with main red team that they founded a settlement over there. They're gonna go back, and now when he goes back, in the meantime, these guys are actually showing these guys around, and these guys going to end up colonizing a lot more uninhabited land. I think they're finally going to come to their senses, realize they probably should not, in this situation, try to be declaring any wars on any locals. They should just keep to themselves until any support arrives. And actually, after doing this, he's gonna re-arrive, and in these lands, they're gonna find a lot of gold. They're gonna strike rich, and when he's back, they're gonna be like, "Yo, we should tell the red team. We should tell Big Boss. The Big Boss says we should we should tell them that we finally got uh a lot of gold here. So let me just erase these big things, these the black stuff. It's it's gonna give us more land to work with if we erase that. So I'm gonna erase that anyways. So yeah, they're gonna tell him that, and he's gonna be like, I bet. He's gonna go all the way back. Let's erase this one as well. He's gonna go all the way back over here. They're gonna be like, yeah, sure, let's do it, and they're gonna go contact the red team. Red team's gonna send a general over there, military general. He's gonna go. He's gonna arrive there, and he's going to get taken to the leaders of this nation, who actually, with the help of the blue team, red team, a little bit before the general arrived, had actually expanded into the territory of their enemy nation, enemy tribe. Also, not technically a country, so nothing illegal happening yet. Red team, that's a red team general on his way. So these guys should start counting their days. He's gonna arrive. He's gonna get taken here, and he's gonna be like, "Y'all really did not colonize us. This is free real estate." Now, I'm sure that the guy in charge of all this is just standing in the back, telling the leader of these guys just to not say anything, because this leader is gonna actually take him to take the general to gold mines. So now he knows there's a lot of gold here, like an insane amount. And so he's gonna basically order these guys to invade and capture this land for gold, and they're gonna be like, no, 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 calm down. We have gold over here as well. He's gonna be like, too bad, bro. This entire purpose of this mission was to make money, and we have to whoop those guys. So he's gonna organize. He's gonna say colonize this, capture that, and yeah, he's also gonna retract any He's gonna retract his thing about recognizing these guys as an independent nation, and that's going to finally lead to war. Now he's going to the general himself is actually going to lead this war. He's going to arrive right here, quickly going to capture everything. A lot of people are going to be confused, realizing that the guys they helped are literally trying to kill them now. So they're going to go through pretty fast. However, eventually after the fall of the capital, a bunch of people over here are going to be like, you know what? No, we're not going to do this, and they're going to start a rebellion. Now, basically, this rebellion is going to be to gain independence and set up a new country in the north, separate from the red team. A lot of messengers are actually going to go back and forth between these two, negotiating with the red team to not do this. However, the red team is going to tell the general continue the invasion. Rebels are actually going to capture almost the entire thing, and yeah, this is not looking good. The general is eventually going to get word that this is all that's left of the red team, and so he's going to pull out from this country, and he's going to arrive here, but it's going to be too late. He's going to be captured. This is going to be destroyed, and in exchange for his freedom, he's going to be forced to negotiate the independence of these guys and the recognition of these guys with the main red team. So a bunch of people, a bunch of leaders from these two are going to escort him all the way here. They're going to make a landing. They're going to basically threaten everybody there. They're going to grab means of communications with the red team. They're going to openly threaten the red team. The red team's eventually going to agree, fine, you can be your own thing, but the red team needs to have exclusive mining rights in all the territory. So I guess the red team gets a lot of the stuff they wanted out of this. So I guess there's that. Let's grab the red team thing. We'll put it on the ocean. Let's put it on the ocean, and then we'll grab brown, which is the color of rebellion in this. We'll grab this color, then we'll paste it on the white, and this is the new color of this new nation. See how much meaning I'm putting behind this? Actually, let's put this back here for a second. Let's put this back. Let's actually grab red and redden that up a bit. Actually, maybe a little bit less. Yeah, that's looking nice. And this is the new country. All right, so with that, we can start off our northern storyline. So with the north having been discovered, obviously there's going to be an immediate rush. The blue team is actually going to arrive, and with the help of these two, is going to set up their own colony in the Inbanks. Inbanks, I don't know if that's a word or not. Right here. And now the blue team setting it up is going to instantly make the red team so much more mad. And now they're going to be a lot more open to working with the people who live here already. They're a lot more open. However, because their reputation has kind of been spread from these two, they're going to yeah. Also, a lot of immigrants from here are going to go here, so eventually this population is going to be like 1% actually red team. It's going to basically become locals really fast. However, it's still big like thing. Still a, I guess a how do I hold up symbol? Yeah, symbol. Still a symbol of friendship between the settler, like the people who are coming in, and then the people who are living here, and probably the only country that's going to be like that, because everyone else I'm telling you right now is going to be colonizing. Shanghai is going to actually think about doing this, but then they're going to realize we can just keep going into Alaska if we needed to do this. Uh, these guys are going to make a last attempt to match Crimea by doing this. However, Crimea is going to shut down their borders for this. They're also going to discourage any further exploration of this for everybody. So Poland isn't going to do this. France isn't going to do this, and Yeah, I think the red team and the blue team are the only ones that really have a way to do this. Because Crimea doesn't want to do this. Meanwhile, over here, the red team is only going to be given this land by the neighboring tribes and things in exchange for the red team helping another country be created. So let's select a color. Let's select this green color. Yup, and we'll paste it onto the white, and that's the color of our new nation. So these guys are now here, and yeah, as you can see, I guess the red team is well, they're doing good, I guess, like diplomatically, because yeah, yeah, I guess. Oh, actually, hold up. These guys are also going to, with the help of the red team, actually, not with the help of the red team. They're through trade with the red team. They gained a lot of weapons, and they're going to use that to take over this land, which is a very smart move because now they control access to this, and they're going to charge the red team and the blue team a lot of money to continue going to their things. They're going to charge tariffs basically. Uh, like Turkey does, I think IRL. Turkey taxes ships that go through there. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to tax ships that go through here. They're also going to deny any military stuff from going here. So for military stuff, you have to go all the way around by foot, which is going to basically kill all hostilities. Now let's move on to the next thing. Let me read my notes. Silk Road. Okay, bye bye. A large chunk of the Silk Road country, large chunks of it are going to begin to break apart. Now, these chunks are going to be basically saying we want dissolution of the state, and they're instantly all going to declare war on the capital one day. Just it's been a long time coming. This was expected, and I guess the militarization and like let's go attack Shanghai, which is very risky, but we want to. That entire policy of this government is kind of going to be the breaking point because troops are going to begin breaking everywhere, and almost immediately they're going to not only capture this, they're going to make a spearhead, and they're going to capture the capital. So the capital is now gone, which is not good already. The capital being gone, the king's actually going to be oofed, which is going to lead to the collapse of the country immediately. A lot of military generals are going to be either deported or oofed. And now taking a look at this, yeah, they're gone. Except now that there's no enemies over here, not China, Shanghai is also going to do the same thing. They're gonna force these guys to basically decolonize all this land, which is this is a puppet state of the Chinese basically. Because remember, look, they're this much of a puppet state. I didn't even give them a capital. Like this was not a mistake. This was done on purpose. I remember. I said that their capital is basically Shanghai's capital, so they don't even get that capital, which is like the ultimate sign that the country is a puppet state when I don't even give them a capital. Um, yeah. So with this, I think the entire I'm lost. I'm lost on what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I remember. The entire Silk Road saga has now come to an end. Also let's just thicken this up while we're at it. Let's make it a little bit thicker. Okay, maybe that's good. All right. We'll accept that. So okay, let's color while we color this back in. Let me tell you what's gonna happen now. So from here on out, since there is no Silk Road, that means there is no trade between Shanghai and mainland and like countries who don't have a coastline inside of Asia, main Asia. So East Asia is officially cut off from countries that do not have a coastline inside of mainland Asia, which means the Shanghai's global outreach is going to be pretty low, which also means that they're gonna rely on the red team, blue team, and like naval stuff a lot more, which also means that the entire exploitation that the blue team was doing of the navy, which Shanghai wasn't really like listening to, like blue team would come, they would help Shanghai. Shanghai would basically never give anything in return because they didn't rely on the blue team anymore. Well, now they do because they need to go through so many blue team checkpoints. Like no matter which way they take, it's gonna be blue team controlled. So now to get their stuff out to the markets, they're gonna definitely get closer to the red team. Also, since all those countries are gone, that I guess does mean that Shanghai is going to actually um, stop they're going to dissolute they're going to destroy their alliance thing. Also, I think they're going to realize that there's no reason. So yeah, so they're gone. I don't think they need to be a country anymore. Also, the footage where I actually edited them, cut them out or like removed the border got deleted. So yeah, what else got deleted? This next part, which took me like half an hour. Anyways, let's get started. So with all that happening, the red team is going to start sending some ships all the way and start colonizing a lot of Australia. Now, the reason for this is actually wait, hold up. Something's wrong. No. What happened? I'm lost. Uh okay, there we go. Let's redo that and then redo that and then redo that and then undo that. Okay, let's move on. Anyways, so they're gonna go ahead, they're gonna colonize this thing. And right when they colonize this colony, it's just a colony. Not nothing big. Yeah, no. No, this is going to be the thing that destroys the entirety of this world. Now that's because Indonesia, which is a blue team ally, a close blue team ally, claims all this as their territory on Australia, and everyone, including the red team, agrees to this. So the red team making a settlement here is going to be crazy. Indonesia's going to figure out there's a settlement here because they saw a lot of ships and they tracked those ships. They're going to send troops, and troops who do not know this is red team, by the way, going to quickly invade, thinking that this is an illegal settlement by either individuals or a country. Either way, they're not going to let that slide, and they're going to quickly capture that and actually forcibly dissolute that. They're actually going to set up a little camp there also, while they figure out what's happening. Red team, after months of not hearing from their settlers, because while those settlers stuff was happening, all this was also happening. Which actually, there is something we missed that we need to do just before anything else. We needed that this footage also got cut out, and I guess that's what I accidentally undid while preparing the video. I forgot about this. So before that, let's quickly do this. There is going to be colonization of Scandinavia, which is going to happen. It's going to happen well. Actually, Crimea is also going to hop on this trend. So yeah, they're because they couldn't get behind the colonization of Russia. They are going to get behind this colonization. They're going to capture all of this land immediately. They're going to cut a gold deal with these guys. That any gold that's found here, they'll get a cut from the profit. So that's how they don't have to fight with the people who are already living there. Red team, they're going to have to fight. They're definitely going to have to fight. They're going to have to fight a lot starting from here on out. Just watch. I know I'm teasing the stuff too much here, but we'll get to it. I promise. We'll do it this episode. Just give me a second. Blue team also going to hop in on the trend. They're going to capture this, probably the least interesting land of all. And yeah, so Crimea is going to capture all of this, and now we can go back there. So yeah, so there. While this was actually happening in the meantime, so present day, they can't hear anything. They send stuff there, and they see that. So the king of the red team gets told what happened, that the troops have been captured, and they go to Indonesia, and they're like, "Hey, what did you guys just try to do? Also, stay hydrated." So they tell Indonesia, what did you just try to do? Indonesian king says, I have no idea. Let's go there together. They go. The guys tell him the entire story, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna help you with this red team because this is your fault. Your troops should not even have been here." And overall, they shut down their ports to the red team, which is a really big thing because the red team sends a lot of trade from here to Shanghai, which makes up for about 10% of their trade. Um, so that's a huge issue. The blue team also puts a lot of sanctions on red team for violating Indonesia, and that's going to lead to the red team getting pretty mad. They're going to make another thing right here just to mess with Indonesia, I guess. Indonesia is immediately going to invade, seize this land, kill a few people in the process, which is exactly what the red team wanted to happen. This was defended by like a combined total of 5 people, because now this gives the red team grounds for invasion. They're going to say, hey, look, you just tried to kill us. We're invading you. I'm sorry. That's just how the cookie crumbles. That just needed to happen. And almost immediately, the invasion will be launched. The red team is going to capture multiple areas all along Papua New Guinea. So basically, they're just trying to destroy Indonesia's control of Australia. They're also going to capture that. However, this instantly escalates because the next few things after they realize Indonesia is not going to back down, they actually invade over here. Now their goal has changed. Now they want to get rid of all of Indonesia. They want to push Indonesia back to the main island right here. IRL, it's Jakarta that's the main island, but now it's going to be this, and this is going to be that. Jakarta. Wait, is Jakarta the city? The island's Java, I think. My fault. Anyways, this island, main island, is going to get split in half. And sorry if I'm going a little bit fast. Like I said, this is take 2. The footage did get deleted. Anyways, they're gonna continue. And all those guys that Indonesia was fighting when they colonized Papua New Guinea back from like 500 episodes ago, in like episode 10 and stuff, which you guys should go watch the previous episodes if you have not, if you're new. Um, all that is definitely going to come to bite Indonesia back, because the red team is definitely going to take advantage of that to fuel their front. In fact, they're actually going to start pushing Indonesia back, and Indonesia is going to be forced to leave this island and protect the mainland. Now, this island, their entire urban population lived here, so that's just straight up, that's gone. I don't even know what you want me to tell you. Same with this; these guys get capitulated, and now the red team does something that's actually pretty huge. They invade this island. Now, the thing is, if they capture this island, they will border the blue team's biggest thing in East Asia, biggest colony in East Asia. So that's absolutely crazy that they're even thinking about that. Meanwhile, they make a little bit of a just a little bit of a landing here. They capture that. They also make a landing right here and begin an invasion of the capital. Now that is going to mean that one, they're going to capture the capital, which is instantly going to knock out Indonesia and collapse the military front line, which is going to lead to the collapse of this island, which is going to lead to them coming to the peace treaty. So yeah, peace treaty time. That was rushed. That was not the main event. Don't you worry, we're going to get there. So red team, they're going to not be able to agree on a peace treaty with Indonesia. So they're going to set up their control in Indonesia like this, and they're going to basically be like, hey, we'll leave you guys alone. You just need to all this land that's under our colonization, which is every island and this and the capital. They're gonna say besides the capital that's under our control, everything else you need to give independence and basically make it a red team favored Indonesian country. Basically, they want to split Indonesia in half, except very unevenly, and then we'll back off. Now, the red team has done all this thinking that the blue team was not going to respond militarily, which they're right. They did call the blue team's bluff. The blue team is just going to sanction them, which doesn't matter. They don't trade with the blue team. So all that positive building about how we should stop fighting each other, yeah, that's going down the drain. So with that, blue team just lost that. Blue team is not just gonna sit around here and watch. They're gonna take their anger out. They're gonna be like, you know what? Fine. You guys want to do this? You guys want to call our bluff? And the leader of the red team, actually goes on air and announces that he's calling the blue team bluff because a lot of his opponents were saying the blue team's gonna get involved and we're gonna get cooked. He's like, no, we're not. They're not gonna get involved. He called their bluff. That's pretty embarrassing, blue team. So yeah, blue team getting embarrassed out here. Blue team is not going to sit back and watch. They're going to be like, you know what, an eye for an eye. We will not rest until the entire world is blind, and they're going to launch an invasion of the Mamluks. That's crazy. Now they're also calling the red team's bluff a little bit. They're thinking like, red team did this with us. They thought we weren't going to call their bluff. We're not. So like, they thought we weren't going to get involved. So like, they're probably not going to get involved either. And overall, they're just thinking that they're like, there's no way the red team actually gets involved for the Mughals. Now the red team didn't go this far with the blue team. Like, yes, they invaded something that was on the blue team border, but like, this is the mainland blue team. I know it looks like it's this because of how big this is, but no, it's this is the mainland blue team. Blue team. So when they invaded on the border of a colony of the blue team. The blue team's invading on like their main area, which is actually crazy. They're also gonna pull a fast one on the Mughals. They're gonna invade from behind. They're just gonna send soldiers through this uncolonized land, which is crazy. They're really out here pulling fast ones. Um, with that, I think the Mughals are gonna realize they're pretty much cooked. And as the collapse of the Mughals starts beginning to feel a lot more inevitable, especially after the blue team conjoins these two fronts into one front. Then they're also going to push up here, which is going to be the breaking point for the red team. They're going to be like, okay, you can do whatever you want. You can't be getting this close. The red team's going to announce that they are declaring all-out war on the red team. Previously, when there's been wars, like for example over here, red team and blue team were like, you know, let's just go get it. Let's just keep it to this continent. Let's just keep it to this area. No, this is all-out war. Every colony, every land. It is war. The red team's gonna announce this, and the hour they announce it, actually, on live TV, no, not live TV. What am I saying? The moment they announce this publicly to the group of people, they're also going to give the get go to the military to launch an invasion, and that's how the blue team's going to find out. So national news knows, and the national people know, but the blue team did not know until this invasion was launched. Now, as you can see, that was a complete surprise attack. Everything's gone for the blue team. They just lost so much land. Yeah. And the blue team's not going to sit back and watch. Like, no, 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 no. They're going to immediately act. They're going to instantly. That's just gone. The entire Australian colony these guys had, that's gone. Meanwhile, in Africa, these two are going to be navally fighting throughout most of this, I think. And then over in the North Russia, like Siberia, we'll say Siberia. There was already a thing that there's going to be no military there, so nothing's going to happen in the north over here. It's just these two colonies, I guess, which is going to get completely obliterated, which is going to give these guys actually a chance. Because remember, this thing was completely relying on the red team support. So yeah, there's going to be an immediate invasion of that. And these guys are going to quickly invade all these smaller things, and then eventually immediately capitulate these guys who are going to surrender, actually. So they're gone. And yeah, honestly, it's not looking good for either side at the moment, but mostly the blue team. Because the red team can always recover. The red team is going to recover. They're going to bring another country into this. They're actually going to launch a blitzkrieg. A blitzkrieg into these guys, which is going to go. It's not going to go unnoticed. Like the blue team is going to see the blue team is going to see this. Now this invasion is going to be a blitzkrieg. It's going to be immediate destruction of the country, which is supposed to be a buffer state between the blue team's capital and the red team. And the red team is going to immediately launch their blitzkrieg into the blue team through the help of this country, which is made up of blue team, red team nationals. So like no one's really there. Actually, it's just desert people. It's literally in the desert. There's no population there. I don't even think in real life anyone lives there. If you live there and you're watching this video, I'm so sorry. So yeah, that's gonna happen. Uh, Over here in Oman, the red team is definitely going to strike havoc. They're going to capture all of that, all of that's gone. That's just gone immediately. From here, the blue team is going to pull probably the greatest Uno reverse card of all time. Now, I want you to know, uh, remember India, blue team India? That's the key to the blue team winning this because if you remember, they have spots all throughout India where they were training a lot of soldiers and keeping a lot of soldiers for an event just like this. Technically, it was for the Mughals, but it's going to work like this. They're going to activate all of that. All the troops that were being prepared for an all-out war scenario where the blue team is going to fall apart, they're all sent. They're loaded up. They get sent over here. They land in the Arab country, which is a blue team, very close blue team ally. From there, a force of about 5 million troops. They're sent. In total, it was 10 million. These guys prepare 1 million, so 11 million in total. 5 million sent over there, which leaves back 6 million. Ready? This is the blue team's uh, nuclear option. The blue team launches 5 million troops over here. They make a landing on the red team's capital. Absolute bloody battle ensues as they approach the red team's capital. That's not it though. While the red team is doing that, obviously they're going to start retreating troops from here into the capital to protect the capital. So it's not going to be a retreat anymore because those 6 million are going to make multiple landings everywhere through here. 3 million there, 2 million over here, 1 million over here. That's deadly. So now not only are they pulling out, they're not just pulling out, they're being forced to actively retreat. And quickly, these three are going to be connected, and this force of 6 million fighting about 4 million that was over here. It's going to be destructive. The red team actually has 11 million over here as they start sending people to come back. I think it's going to be the red team had about like 7 million initially, so 6 million is still a lot and still going to catch them off guard. Paired with 2 million, the blue team sends over there, and then also volunteer forces make up 1 million from blue team's allies. Those 3 million are also going to arrive, and the surprise attack already works so much, so now the number victory is also going to absolutely destroy the red team. They're going to be pushed back insanely far, and from here, forced to retreat into their own territory. Now, the blue team isn't going to sit here and watch. No, no, no. They're going on the offensive immediately. So, immediately, they're going to launch the invasion back into the red team. Now, the overseas war they kind of already won, but they're not going to stop here. From here, they're going to release another troop from the Mughals area. They're going to use all the destruction of the red team to their advantage to actually capture the Sinai Peninsula, and they're going to send a lot of troops from West Africa over here to capture the Strait of Malacca, shutting down red team's imports to the mainland through Mediterranean. So that's going to deal huge damage onto the red team's economy temporarily, of course. Um, they're not going to stop though, because when does the blue team stop? They're going to use these troops to actually cut off the capital, with the main capital now at complete risk. That's 4 million troops. That's 5 million. 9 million troops are invading the capital. Meanwhile, another couple of troops are going to go in capture Kuwait, and this is hell for the red team. I'm not going to lie. Eventually, the troops are going to enclose and capture the red team's capital. The capital of the red team, the second greatest country in the history of civilization restarts. Gone, erased in the span of what, like 3 weeks? This is what proves that the blue team is the best country in the history of civilization restarts. That's not it though, because not only is this all gone, not only is that all happening, no, this thing it's going to make a little bit more progress probably, but that's in a stalemate. That's in a stalemate. Everything that's not in a stalemate is just gone, and the red team is immediately going to sue for peace. Actually, they're going to try to do one more thing. They're going to try to continue fighting. However, the blue team is going to deal their final blow to the red team. If that was not enough, that's going to be an invasion of their their seaport over here, their red seaport, and more importantly than all of this, the invasion of their stuff over here. So that, actually, I don't even no, let's not. I don't think the blue team would be able to do that. I think just across the Persian Gulf, they're just going to send D-Day type forces connected with Kuwait, and that is probably going to be the finishing blow. Those two landings, and the red team is going to come to the peace table, and they're going to be like, "We made a mistake. Please forgive us, and please let's turn a new leaf. Let's turn a new page in this storyline and calm down with each other for a minute." Yeah, blue team is immediately going to listen because like why wouldn't they? They don't want this to keep going. The entire point of that much troops, like they just used their big like nuclear option on the red team, so that shows that the blue team was also pretty close to just complete destruction. So yeah, Indonesia is going to be completely freed. The red team is going to be beginning to now leave Indonesia. They're going to start pulling out. Over here, this thing is gone. Just first of all, actually no, first of all, Australia. Let's just deal with that. The red team is going to Australia, where this all started. Red team's gone from there. They're going to lose that colony, which was already making the blue team a little bit mad, but this is definitely the breaking point. And the blue team is also going to ban the red team. The red team's going to be forced to agree to never settle a colony on Australia ever again. So that's really the finishing blow. Um, these guys are definitely going to also get a lot out of this. They're going to capture the red team's version of their country. So now the country is once again united. The Central African Union. They're united once more, and the red team is definitely going to pull out of Central Africa now because their colony in Central Africa is also gone, which means that actually we could probably return to the Central African storyline. I know I've been ignoring it because I've been focusing on Australia and everything, but I think we will definitely in the near future, next few episodes, we will definitely return here because this is the first thing that's happened here in a while, but it should restart their storyline as well. That's also just gonna get dissoluted. That's just gone. Uh, there is a lot of call for the blue team to actually like change up the border here, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Oh, also these guys are going to be given their thing back. Blue team's gonna completely pull out from Mughal because this was never about the Mughals. The Mughals were literally just a distraction type thing. Like it was just a payback thing. Now a lot of people are probably thinking from the viewers, but also a lot of people in the red team are also saying that they should probably capture Sinai. However, I don't think the red team would ever agree to a peace treaty if it included losing the Sinai Peninsula, Suez Canal, or like the Strait of Malacca. So those things are going to be left with the red team. Blue team is not going to change the border over here because all of this is just desert, and they don't want to try and develop that. Also, they're not going to capture anything over there. But they're gonna do one more thing. Now, currently, red team has $95 trillion GDP. Okay, before this stuff, blue team had 125. After this stuff, blue team has fallen to 115. So they just lost 10 trillion in that. The blue team, the red team, they fell to 95 trillion from we'll say like 100 trillion. So I don't know. Doesn't matter. They fell to 95. They're at 95 right now. These guys are at 115 right now. So um, so here's the thing. Blue team's gonna smack a $60 trillion reparation on there. So by the end of this, the red team's gonna fall to 35 trillion. Not only so that's insane. And the blue team's at 115 trillion, but from 125 trillion, so they lost 10 trillion. But they're gonna be at 175 trillion at the end of the reparations. So yeah, over the course of the next few episodes, the red team's economy is gonna die because they're gonna be paying off this reparation. Their total debt, their national debt was only 5 trillion. Now it's gonna be 65 trillion. So the blue team did not do good in the economy. Like they're destroying the economy of the red team. The red team. Last episode I gave you guys the rankings. Red team was second place. And I think they're still going to be second place because Crimea, who was third place, is only 12 trillion. So they're going to fall, but not by that much. Anyways, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Red team L this video. Red team took a big L, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.